it's becoming worrisome, the news flying around, particularly regarding copyright issues among musicians in Nigeria. Not only in Nigeria, but the reason why I'm coming out to do this is the fact that this is not limited to secular artists anymore. It's becoming something that it's involving the gospel musicians. So, and people will consider as people that are very much into singing gospel song. And I think if this is not addressed, it could affect many of us later, particularly those of us who are yet to be aware of the realities of things. And the Bible says something, that my people are perished for lack of knowledge. And I'm seeing that scripture coming into fulfillment and or expression every day nowadays. The reason being that, especially I'm talking about those of us that we are gospel musician, church musician, Christian musicians, or whatever we want to categorize it. Many of us who dwell solely, our music is always on religious side, so we don't go through normal channel of the business aspects of music, like maybe be signed to a label, or having to deal with all the processes, copywriting, having to deal with the law, the legal aspects of our music and the rest. All we just do is that we sing. Thank God for this day of social media. Thank God for this day of YouTube channel. Many of us just sing, and we post those songs without any consideration of infringement of rights of other people that have done some works before us. But it has now become an issue. It's a thing that we need to begin to look at it, because if we don't address it, it's going to hurt more people. Imagine you have released a song, and that song has generated like let me say 200 million naira, and you have invested heavily from that money. You have done so many things, and somebody just wake up one day and said, you stole my song, and I'm going to pursue this thing legally with you. And the person take you up, and by the time the person will slam you the legal stuff, settlement, say that I'm collecting 500 million naira in order to let you be. And then if the person insisted on that, the content will be brought down. A lot of things will happen. Even what you have even acquired with that money, you might be forced to lose them. Yeah, because under litigation, there's a way they say something around us in Nigeria here, that kolomajari, so that you should not say something, you should not enter into litigation. If you enter into litigation, in the morning you cannot sleep, at night you cannot sleep. You just have to be thinking on how to get out of the mess. So in the real sense of it, gospel musicians, we have a lot of learning to do now. Yes, I heard about the story. I still read a couple of things early today on the issue of beautiful Nubia and BBO, and also yinkaayefele. And a lot of people, to them, they are asking, how has BBO crossed the red line with beautiful Nubia? How has yinkaayefele crossed the red line with beautiful Nubia? They didn't copy the song verbally. We didn't copy the song verbally. They just, they tried to change the word, the lyrics. It's only the tone that was taken. And a lot of people have that justification going on, that beautiful Nubia should allow that to rest. There's nothing about it that you should be fighting over and everything. But it is good that many of us we go back and do our studies. It has in other country, You cannot wake up and, even go to your church on Sunday morning, like we have Nathan Ebasi here in Nigeria. You cannot go to church on Sunday morning and sing Nathan Ebasi song. You cannot, except you have, your church has the right in order to sing Nathan Ebasi song. You cannot go to the church and sing Tope Alabi song. If you don't have the right of Tope Alabi to sing a song. So, but in Nigeria, we do these things, and then you just go, everybody just open his mouth and then begin to do anything that he wants to do with anybody's song. Even when you even change the language of the song, as long as you use the tone of that song, then you are obligated in order to obtain right over that song before you can even use the tone. So not only the lyrics, even the tones requires right, because when the person was registering that song, the person came up with the tune for the song, the person came up with lyrics, and in music, he can decide to set them separately. He can set that tune separately, he can set the lyrics separately. So the right covers everything. And that's why when we are dealing with handling other people's song, we need to be careful and do a kind of thorough studies on how to use other people's content. In this case, we all, we knew that our brother Yinkaayefele has always been somebody that gathered choruses from various backgrounds, uses CAC hymns, using celestial hymns, using, just gather. At some years ago, I even heard that there's a program that he used to normally host, in whereby he brings all these young chaps together, and then they will sing, and they will express themselves, and some of them will, they will always have this shock when they listen to his latest release, and then realize that some of the songs they perform on those stage or those audition and everything actually find its way into some of the songs, some of the albums. So, and trampling upon people's rights will not serve anybody good. And I listened to the argument from the side of our brother Yinkaayefele, where he was responding to beautiful Nubia that he sang Jangbala Jugu 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 Jangbala, and Jangbala Jugu is folklore. It's folklore. So it's just like I'm singing Ojonro Shere Ninu Ile, Ma Wonu Ojo Ki Aso Re Ma Ba Tutu. Ojonro Shere Ninu Ile, Ma Wonu Ojo Ki Aso Re Ma Ba Tutu Ki Otutu Ma Ba Mu O. So it's like that. So comparing that to the composition that was just done, and in copyright you even have years. There are numbers of some years that has to be between the composition of that tune and when it becomes a public property that anybody can take it up and use it. If you are you are doing all this tumba, you are doing all these things, and then you realize that you are up there, I pity a lot of our guys already that have content that millions of people have streamed, and then that those content, they are not their original content, and they didn't acknowledge the author. Hey, if you are singing somebody's song, it is good that you find a way in order to know who is the owner, the original owner of this song. Because if you don't know it, whatever any effort you put on that song, whatever that money that song earns you, you can still be forced to purge it. Yes, you can be forced to purge it. So, see, this thing is not about sentiment. Lord doesn't work on sentiment. It's our favorite. And we like it, and He should let it go. We are talking about somebody else's intellectual property, somebody else's thought product, something that somebody else figured out with his mind. Now, it may not be making wave today or be trending today, but the fact remains that that thing is the product of his imagination, of his creativity. So when you are using it, either the tone, you use the lyrics, you use the beat, all these things, they are things that we need to learn how to use them, so that we will not get ourselves into trouble. Even when you are using some of all these songs, it is good for you to look for who sang this song, who recorded it, then acknowledge them. I'm using the tone of this so artist, and acknowledge that. I realize that even in crediting, we are so poor in Nigeria. We are poor in crediting other people that, oh, this thing belongs to this also person. I was very privy. I was privy to Obatongba Dobali Oba. This Obatongba Dobali Oba and issues around that song. Up till now, the man that composed that song, still have, his grudges and is not happy with people who took up that song without acknowledging him. It is not enough for you to just listen to a song in a church and then take it to studio. I know many of us gospel artists, we do this. We just pick up people's songs and from the studio, from church. Maybe our pastor used to sing it. If your pastor composed that song belongs to your pastor. See, if you take up that song and then you now go and record it, and then you say it's my pastor's song, your pastor have every right. Or you just go to a church, you go to perform, and then you listen to your friend or maybe somebody there singing the song, and you took it up. If you take that thing up, except the person cannot prove that he is the original owner of the song, and that's the reason why I will also challenge you gospel artists, every one of us, we must learn to document our creativity. Maybe I will come live here and tell you simple way of documenting, of copyrighting your song without even before the proper documentation with the government. Something that can make you to be able to lay hold and to be able to defend your right. And likewise, even pastors, you go to a revival and you realize that God gives you. I have, one person like that around me is a revivalist. And I know that this man, each time he gets on pulpit, new song will drop from his mouth. And is a man that today, when he sit down and he hear people singing his song all around, and there's nothing he can do because he doesn't have that documentation process in order to be able to prove that I composed this song. This song belongs to me. And if you don't have that provision, then there's going to be an issue. You do know that even since the time of Midnight Crew, we have been in this particular trouble. Koso Babire, Kosi Babire wasn't originally a Midnight Crew song. It was done by a woman, and that song generated a lot of issue back in those days. But because many of all these things, we don't bring them to media, we don't come to talk about them, and because of that, many of us, we have not learned from them, and we need to learn. Litigation. See, when litigation come, we were all around here last year or two years ago, whereby the issue of this our sister that sings with beret and AZT came up. So and and everybody begin to everybody begin to try to defend the sister. The sister owns the song, the man owns the master because he's a producer. It's high time that we understand these things. If we don't understand these things, it's going to be an issue. So there's going to be a serious issue. Thank you, my brother Olaoluwa Adeagbo David. I really appreciate you so much. I appreciate your comment. So there's going to be an issue if we don't understand these things. We need to understand, the song, how to protect our songs. We need to understand how to copyright our songs. We need to understand the agreement, contracts that involves in our songs. The contract with producers, the contract with singers, the contract with instrumentalists, the contract with everybody that involved in the project. So all these things, we can't choose to live on the side of ignorance anymore. And mind you, that song that you say is nothing today can become something tomorrow that everybody begin to sing. So if the earlier that you are able to protect it, better. The reason why that beautiful Nubia can come up today and say that yinkaayefele, you stole my tune from 7 Lives. 7 Lives. I still listen to that album yesterday. So that track yesterday, you stole my tune from 7 Lives. BBO, you stole this thing from 7 Lives. And see, This one is just the beginning. A lot of issues is still coming up, because a lot of litigation is still going to come up. A lot of people are still coming up to talk. So, and there are some people now that also they are preparing. And I pity all those your streaming money you have earned on YouTube. You might be forced to cough it out. So if you like, listen. But if you go to studio and go and do that praise party, and then sit down and consider the content I'm going to use for this praise party, in whereby I want to post on YouTube, is it my own content? Are they my songs? Do I have do I have the right in order to sing the song? Am I going to acknowledge the owner of the song? See, some of all these secular people who call secular artists and entertainers, they are smarter and wiser than us. When the Bible says that the children of this world, they are wiser, they are smarter than the children of the light, you don't know what that means. Because they understand health, they understand this word better. Many of us, we understand heaven so much that we don't even understand the world we are living in. And the Bible said that when we pray, our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So the will of God will be done on earth. So which means that we are bringing God to this earth. So we need to understand how this earth that we are bringing God's kingdoms to, how it operates. If you don't understand how it operates, with your spirituality, you will sleep in jail. You will sleep in cell. You'll be trouble. You will lose your night sleep. So because of this, we need to now begin to learn. If you don't learn, it's going to be serious trouble. Yeah, many of you that you are composers, and you sing, you do a lot of things. Many of us use little things to just mess it up. Many of us use little things to mess it up, and by the time we are doing all these things, we just bring somebody, because we want to make that your original stuff to trend. You now bring somebody else's song into it. Some of us, we even start our song with popular tune. We hear one intro somewhere. We now bring that intro into the song. And by the time you bring in that intro into the song, you mess up, the song entirely. We need to begin to learn now. The issue of BBO, I pray that they can find amicable way to engage beautiful Nubia. I pray they can just have amicable way of going to him and Ayefele, just allowing arrogancy to go and say, Baba, indeed, I agree that because if you get to the court of law, if you get to the court of law, see, Ayefele cannot come out of this thing. And to be sincere, for yinkaayefele, my good brother, it will just be like beautiful Nubia is opening door for other people that have been, that are first lighted, in order to come up and begin to speak up. And in the days to come, I want us to expect more outbursts from different corners on copyright. The reason why some people, they can't speak up is because they feel like they don't have what it takes to fight. Yes, they think that these people have money, and with money they are going to defeat me in court. These people have fame, they might go after me and ruin me. These people have this, these people have that. But let me tell you, wait, what is going on in the copyright space and in the Nigerian law space? Yes, things are changing. So the earlier we learn, the better. Things are changing. Our laws in Nigeria are being strengthening. Giving power. You are hearing about the tax law, the tax reform. You are hearing about so many reforms that is going on. The same thing also is coming to our creative industry. So, and when that comes in, there's no how. Everybody must just be accountable. You must just be accountable with everything you do. So if you are going to sing your song, your unknown song, and make it known, labor on that rather than jumping on somebody else's song. I hope that we are going to learn from this. I would really love to speak a lot. I have an opportunity 4 years ago, in order to as a podcast producer, podcast and broadcast producer, I had an opportunity to record a session, a series of podcast with a copyright lawyer. I'm still asking for his permission, if she can permit us to publish that particular podcast, the series. I would really love it, so that I can bring it to public for many of us to listen to it. The lady, digested and explained every detail of the copyright issue that musicians, creatives, many of us, even the pictures you use, all these things, even you call it AI. If you don't know, even AI music you are doing, there are law that guides it. So you cannot dwell in unknown. You cannot say, I don't know, ignorance. No, ignorance is not an excuse in law. So when you are doing that thing, even with the AI platform, the AI platform is connected to YouTube, and many of them, they are working together. And by the time you know, that AI song that's the reason why some people, their AI content will have millions of views, but they may never earn a dime, because they don't consider the right of the AI platform. And yes, they don't consider it, they are just doing it. So all these things requires that we go back and go and learn. Christian musicians, gospel artists, it's high time. Do you know that even DJ that are playing music on the road, they require license to play that music on the road? They could require license to play that music. So, and if you don't have right to some music, you can't even play it in your bus stop. Your bus stop, all those days, whatever they used to play. If you don't have right to it, because there must be. Royalty goes to all these artists. Royalty goes to them. So, and because of that, when you are handling their job, you need to handle it carefully. Please, I beg you. This issue, we are only seeing the beginning. But let every one of us now begin to learn. Litigation is going to be real in days to come. Avoid it as much as possible. Do your research. Ask questions. Ask people, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? So that at the end of the day, you will be safe using songs. You'll be safe using people's content. There's something they call sampling. You say, sample this, sample that, sample this, sample that. It's also good that you understudy what sampling is all about in song. When you are sampling people's song, what are the things that requires in order to sample people's song? Okay, I pray that God help us so that our labor will not be in vain. I will not say more than this for now. As God lay more things on my mind, I will come back also to share. Thank you very much. Thank you.